I'm just so happy to see all of you here on this beautiful day. And I'm thrilled to welcome you to the second ZALON in the Salon's 33-year history. I'm delighted that you've all joined us tonight. It's thrilling to see the community come together at the inaugural ZALON last month, folks from all around the world, connecting us through the global language of arts. I'm deeply grateful to Adam Vidixis, my friend, colleague, and esteemed composer and music technology professor at Temple University, for serving as our lead engineer. He's just been awesome working with all the performers, and he's working also with a team from Temple, helping things run smoothly behind the scenes. So I'm going to introduce Adam to you now, who will briefly go over some Zoom features, and then we'll resume with our program. Adam?
Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're excited to be here with you tonight. I'm going to go over a few things regarding how to get around on Zoom, as well as some Zoom etiquette. So first, let me introduce our ZALON tech team. In addition to myself, we have Marina and Andrew, and we wouldn't be able to do this without their help. So we thank them very much for donating their time and expertise. Our audio team will be muting audience mics during the performances. But it is helpful if you can make sure that your own mic is off at that time. So if you wish to unmute your mic to applaud, then you can feel free to do so once the performance is finished. And in a moment, we're going to try this together. So you can unmute your mic by clicking the mic icon that's down at the bottom left of the video screen. If you're using the app, it might be in a different place if you're on a mobile device or something like that. But if you look around, you should see a little microphone icon. So if you can locate that right now, let's try a round of applause. Are you ready? And go.
Hey.
Right, great. So if you could please mute your mic now. Great, wonderful job. So additionally, if you want, you can show your appreciation silently. So if your video is on, then you can show your love by waving your hands like this. Or if your camera is off, or even if it is on, you can also post a reaction by clicking the smiley face icon in the menu bar and selecting either the thumbs up or applause emoji. So that's another way if you want to do it at any time. You should be able to see my applause emoji now. And you can use these anytime throughout the performances to show how much you are enjoying the show. If you want to silently show your appreciation at any point during the performances, then please feel free to do that. So you can send questions and comments about the performance in the chat window during the performances. So we'll be picking one or two questions to share with the performers after their set. And then Andrea will be asking them your questions from the chat after the performance. So you can find the chat button, if you haven't already, in the menu bar as well, along with some of the other features I've already mentioned. If you're viewing from a mobile device, you may see some of these messages overlaid on the video image. Please note that there's nothing we can do about those settings for you. You can try to adjust them as best you can in the various app that you might be using. So sorry for any inconvenience as far as that goes. Please do be aware of your surroundings. If your video is on, feel free to turn off your video during the performances if you wish. Our tech team will be spotlighting the performers' videos throughout the performances so that you'll see what you should be seeing in the speaker view. Please note that Zoom has been giving some issues today, so there's been some reports of some outages and things like that. If any issues occur and you are dropped from the session, please simply rejoin via the link that you were that got you here in the first place. If we need to, we will post any technical information updates at the ZALON virtual table. So please do check out the chat now. I will post that to the chat for you. Again, I've been posting, but I'll do another one just so you can see it fresh. All right. Please copy the link from that chat now in case you are disconnected and need to access information on our website. Please note that the quality of the music in Zoom can be affected by your local network connection. There is nothing we can do to control that on our end, unfortunately. And we are working with the equipment that these fantastic performers happen to have available to them during the quarantine. So sound quality may vary a bit from performer to performer. Finally, please be sure to be respectful of the performers and of this public space we are sharing together. If anyone exhibits inappropriate behavior, we will remove them from the salon. If you experience offensive behavior of any kind, please feel free to send a message in the chat. You can do this privately to me if you wish. We want to make sure this is a safe and enjoyable experience for everyone involved. Please remember to visit the performers table at the link in the chat that I've already shared, and we are ready to get going. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Adam. You're awesome. Thank you so much. So for those of you who are new to the Salon, just a little bit of background. I started my salon in 1986 as a way to carry on the European tradition of music in the home, to foster collaboration amongst artists, and to help build a vital and joyful community around music. During these 33 years until this spring, over 7,000 performers played in my living room. I started the ZALON to continue the tradition online, connect our community far and wide, support artists, and to help keep the arts alive during this challenging time. The ZALON is based on the salon, which flourished in Italy and France in the 17th and 18th century. So literary events where hosts, or more often hostesses, would invite scientists, philosophers, theologians, writers, thinkers of all kinds over to their homes to spark discussion and inspire new ideas. These gatherings were known by the room in which they were held. From the word sala, the grand reception hall in the Italian mansions, the salon was the living room or parlor. In the 19th century, these salons included more musicians and artists. Many composers, like Chopin, actually preferred the salons to the more formal concert halls and wrote new pieces specifically for these home events. The Parisian salon was on par with the concert hall and the opera house as a crucial venue for the history of music. I was particularly interested in the salons of the early 20th century, those of Gertrude Stein and Mabel Dodge, that included many artists and disciplines. I wanted to create a contemporary spin by featuring artists working in a multitude of genres, as you'll hear tonight: classical, jazz, world, folk, opera, multimedia collaborations, and more. Now, beginning our third month of sheltering in place, performance in the home takes on a whole new meaning. Artists performing from their homes for you in your homes. Even though we're virtual, I find a connection and an intimacy in this that's quite moving. I invite you to access a place of quiet in yourself and to listen deeply, to observe what resonates with you, what stirs your souls. There'll be a chance to ask questions of the artists in the chat box, and they will answer one or two following their sets. I heartily encourage you to support these amazing artists at the performers table, where you can see what they're offering and how you can donate to them. That link is in my ZALON invitation and will also be periodically displayed in the chat box. There, you will also see the gorgeous new kaleidoscopic ZALON logo by gifted artist and friend Mia Bosna, and learn more about her work as well. Lastly, a huge shout out to Adam Badixis, lead engineer, and his volunteer tech team from Temple University, who are helping out behind the scenes with the Zoom stage production, Marina Ballesteros and Andrew Litz. And now, without further ado, let me introduce our first performers, my dear friends in Colorado, Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin. Award-winning singer-songwriters Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin will perform their original songs from their home near Aspen, Colorado. Jan and J.D. have been married to one another for 25 years and have been traveling the country, singing, playing, speaking, and teaching at spiritual centers. J.D. is an acclaimed songwriter of 5 #1 and 10 top 10 country and pop hit singles. Jan, a jazz folk singer, has toured with John Denver, Steve Martin, and the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Jan and J.D.'s music is described as rich and intelligent, a wake-up call as satisfying to the soul as it is to the ear. Together, they've written, recorded, and produced 9 albums available at their website. I also want to mention that they take commissions. They wrote and recorded a fabulous song for my father's birthday entitled let's embarrass Harris. Check out more of their info on the performers table, and let's give a warm welcome to our friends in Colorado, Jan and J.D.
This is so exciting. Thank you so much for inviting us. This is really, really cool. Great to be here. We love our home here in Colorado, and we're going to do a song starting off for you that's from our Red Rock Canyons. We get in the car, we drive like 10, 12 minutes, and we are up at this really beautiful, lovely, natural world. And so we send that to you guys tonight, and I think we'll just have JD go ahead and start it for you.
Red Rock Canyon loves the light, juniper pinyon sunrise, the sweet earth still damp from last night's rain. The smell of the sage is a simple prayer, rising up in the morning air, saying welcome home again. And oh, what a wonder, I cannot begin to say, such unspeakable beauty, calling my name. We go on, like a beautiful song, we are carried on great winds across the sky. We go on, we go set free, we come shining through. We go on. There are secrets singing in the breeze at dawn, a fresh familiar song. Everywhere I look, the world's alive. The soul of the river is one and the same as the holy blood running through my veins, like a father smiles, newborn child. So stand still, let me look at your face. Everything keeps changing, but this love remains. We go on, like a beautiful song, we're carried on great winds across the sky. We go on, we go set free, we come shining through. We go on. And oh, what a wonder, I cannot begin to say, such unspeakable beauty, calling my name. We go on, like a beautiful song, we are carried on great winds across the sky. We go on, we go set free, we come shining through. We go on, like a beautiful song. We go on.
All right.
Beautiful.
Yay!
Bravo.
Yay!
Thank you.
So, let me mention one thing, which is if you want to learn a little bit more about that song and see some videos about that place we're talking about, you can go to our YouTube channel, Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin, and once you get there, you click on the little faces, and that takes you right to our YouTube channel. And we just posted this song, Red Rock Canyon, yesterday in a series of new videos that we're calling Saturday Songs and Stories. So you can just keep checking in, you know. Every Saturday by noon Mountain Time, we'll have a new video and a new story for you guys. So that'd be cool. Check that out.
All right.
And now, and we're going to do one more tune for you. I want to explain to you that this song is called Better Angels, and it's the title song on our newest CD, which came out, a little over a year ago. When we start to sing, you will hear a full band, which is obviously not here in our living room. But I wanted to let you know, this is the track from our album, which we created ourselves. This is part of the art form that we do. So I want you to know that we wrote this song, we arranged it, we hired the fancy players, we recorded everything here in our studio. So when you hear the band, you know that it's really us and not some cheesy thing that we got off the internet. So just so you know that. But the title quickly from this, Better Angels, comes from the Abraham Lincoln quote from his first inaugural address when the country was in complete chaos. And basically what he said was, you know, we have to learn to really get along, guys. We're not enemies, we really are friends. And to do this, we need to tune into the better angels of our nature.
Seeing the world through the eyes of a higher vision, really feeling the love that's breathing us all, openly singing the song that holds us together, and willingly lend a hand to tear down the walls, calling our better angels together, calling our better angels as we go, better angels, better angels. Better angels, calling on our better angels. Who brings the breeze at dawn to the mountain meadows? And how do the wild grasses know how to grow? The essential invisible heart of all creation, living inside of us now, singing us home, calling our better angels together, calling our better angels as we go, better angels, better angels, better angels, calling on our better angels, the better angels of our nature, the companions of our soul, the ones we can count on to guide us wherever we go. Though the dangers may be daunting, we know that we're not alone. We're lifted up, we're taking the high road home. Better angels, better angels, better angels.
So great.
Oh my goodness, you guys. I love you both. We've known each other for a long time, and I've even had the chance to compose in their beautiful house when they've been on tour. People are writing in, thanking you, telling you how beautiful this is, just what they need. Thank you for the harmonies. Thank you for bringing nature to us on the East Coast. Some Mick says he hears the whole audience singing along. And then Sharon says she was singing along. So we have one question. I'm going to add something to that. Lewis asks if you compose and write your original songs, and I'd like to add to that question: has the pandemic changed your approach to your music writing?
Yeah, well,
I know it's a big question.
first of all, it's changed the fact that, like everybody, we're home, and we had to cancel all of our travel. And I would say that we were not in the mood to write songs basically when it started, and we were kind of taking some time just to fill up the well, you know. But since the virus has come, we've been online with a few people to write songs. About whatever. It doesn't have to be about the experience of the virus, but we've been writing a little.
But it has been about this. Let me just tell you one thing, because usually if we co-write, J.D. and I co-write, of course, all the time, but often we'll co-write with other people. And we started writing with one other person who lives on the East Coast via Zoom. Mm-hmm. And we started a song together, and it was a whole lot of it was about, our experience of this pandemic thing. And then what happened, because we couldn't get together later that night, in our hotel room or whatever, we all went our separate ways. The next time we got together on Zoom, we had all started to go a little bit different in different directions with our, so anyway, after several Zoom sessions, we're ending up with 3 different songs.
Yeah.
But that's kind of really cool.
Yeah.
So, 3 from 1, I mean, why not? So, and we'll let you guys know, if you keep tuning into our, YouTube channel, you'll find out we're gonna be putting these new songs up as well. So, thanks for asking.
Yeah. Thank you, Jan and JD, and everybody. Do check out their Saturday songs and stories. They're so inspirational. I've been watching as they come up on Facebook. Actually, you can follow them there as well. Thank you again, Jan and JD, Jan Garrett, JD Martin. So our next performer, Steve Sandberg, is a pianist, composer, and musical director for Nickelodeon's landmark children's programs. He leads the Steve Sandberg Quartet, which plays original music that blends classical, world, and jazz with virtuosic improvisation. He also teaches piano and composition online, and he's now accepting new students. Learn more about Steve's recordings and classes at the performer's table. Tonight, Steve will perform his composition Maurice, based on Ravel's Prelude to Le Tombeau de Couperin, and Subindo, based on Bach's Sinfonia in F minor. And now let's welcome to the ZALON's virtual stage, Steve Sandberg, performing from his apartment in New York City's Upper West Side. Steve Sandberg.
Hi, everybody. That was so incredibly beautiful. I was singing along to those songs. This is my first salon and my first ZALON, and it's amazing to be here. I grew up playing classical music since I was 4 years old, and I love Mozart, Ravel, Chopin. In my life, I've been involved I got very involved in the Latin music scene in New York, Brazilian music. I studied North Indian classical music. I love music from all over the world. And several years ago, I started this project of what I call world classical music. Sometimes I call it shape-shifting and time traveling with classical music, world music, and jazz. And it involves playing classical music and then writing original compositions based on the classics with world music rhythms, Balkan rhythms, African, Latin, Brazilian rhythms, and jazz improvisation. And I have a quartet that performs this, and during the pandemic, obviously I'm focusing more on solo performances. So without further ado, the first composition is called Maurice. is based on Ravel's Prelude to the Tombeau de Couperin. I'm going to play a little bit of the Ravel to begin. Thank you. The next composition.
Bravo!
Thank you so much. The next composition is entitled Subindo, which in Portuguese means going up. It's based on the Bach F minor invention, which is it's one of Bach's kind of very serious kind of crucifixion pieces. And I turned it into something a little different.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, I just want to suggest, if anyone wants to ask a question, the question I'd like to answer is about going back and forth between playing the written parts and the improvisation. But if it's of interest to anyone, I could address that.
I think we just have time for one question now, and that was actually one of the questions. And there were a few other questions for you, Steve. So what I would suggest is that you go to the chat and you can answer the questions there. But I will ask, kind of in line with what you just said, somebody asked how much of this was improvised, or Jamal Wade Hines said, was any of that improvised? Super beautiful.
Yeah. Yes, they're kind of written like jazz tunes. There are kind of extended heads, extended composed parts, and then I can't really go back and point out the improvisation part, but pretty much after you heard the composed melody part, the center piece of everything was improvised. And when I perform with the quartet, we have violin. It's like a jazz group. We have violin solo, bass solo, piano solo, drum solos. And that's kind of been the challenge of this project for me, is in putting together the idea of classical performance and improvisation. And of course, we all know Bach, Chopin, Beethoven are all great improvisers. I'm kind of trying to bring that tradition back. So I'll make that answer short in the interest of moving things along. But I do want to say that I do teach. I've become very interested in teaching recently. I have piano composition students from the age of 13 to 72 right now. And I'm interested in pursuing that and have room in my studio. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I do want you to check out the questions on the chat. There's some interest in purchasing your transcription and lots of accolades. So
awesome. Thank
you so much. We really appreciate you, Steve Sandberg. Steve was supposed to perform at my living room salon this spring, and I'm so glad that we could take you online.
It's a great pleasure.
Thank you. So our next performer, and in ZALON fashion, we move to different spaces, not just different homes, but different musical spaces. I'm thrilled to welcome Mezzo-soprano Katherine Skovira, who's a strong advocate for the music of our day. She co-directs the Contemporary Music Ensemble Sound Lab with music director Robert Whalen. Robert and Katherine met at Cornell University and completed their doctorates together at the University of Minnesota. They've since collaborated on multiple projects, most recently in Philadelphia to launch the wonderful Barnes Ensemble and later Sound Lab. Her upcoming projects include a premiere of The Other Side of Silence, working with live performers, new technology, and non-speaking members of our community. You can learn more about Katherine and ways to support her in all of her initiatives at the performers table. Let's welcome Katherine Skovira, performing from her home in Philadelphia.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you. This is something of a coming home for me, returning to Andrea's wonderful salon. After first arriving, I think 2016 is the last time I was there. And I presented a piece that I had learned when I was, in fact, unable to sing for a few months. I had to learn it completely silently, and that was Bernard Rands' Memo 7, which I'll be presenting just excerpts from. It fragments an Emily Dickinson text to the point that it becomes a meditation on abuse. The second piece will be Georges Aperghis' Récitations, Movement 1. I will screenshot you later the tone row that it uses, where it puts together words, specific words and syllables with tones. And it's notated that way. So this is looking forward to a future project that's advocating for the non-speaking community. And it just so happened that in the process of becoming involved in this work, I met a wonderful film director, Christopher Stoudt, who couldn't be with us today, but sends all of his love. And we will excerpt also a part of his film, which is Camp Alec, for a camp that's in Michigan that works with people who are non-speaking. For now, though, what I'd like to do is introduce my synthetic voice, which I donated to Vocal ID, which is a wonderful Boston-based AI firm that creates customized voices. So I donated my voice so that it could be used by someone that matches my particular profile, and you can do it too on their website, vocalid.ai. And here is my voice.
Hi, this is Katherine's synthetic voice. Katherine will sing excerpts from two works that fragment and reimagine texts, exploring themes of the voice as identity and finding one's voice after trauma, what it means to be a personal woman in the...
So here now is Bernard Rands Memo 7 in excerpts. Me, bind me, I still can bind me, I can, I still can sing, still sing, I can bind me, I still can sing. Banish, I me, banish me, banish. Can I still can sing? Still I can sing. Banish, bind me. Oh, my man, true. Mandolin strikes true within. Banish my man, bind my man. I can still sing. Oh, Slee, still true with my man, Slee. Banish my mandolin and I still in my mind. Still true, Lee. Oh, can sing. Strikes true within Slee. My mandolin still strikes the true with me.
Whoa!
Wow.
Amazing.
Cool. Wow.
You to have the opportunity to see the tone row with the syllables for this next piece, because it's a Greek composer living in Paris who is not as well known in the United States, but is doing some really incredible experimental musical theater is what he calls it. And you can learn more about him through the documentary The Storm Beneath the Skull, Georges Aperghis. I'll sing the tone row for you because you now have it here. Transforme un jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune et la lit. Transforme un jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune et la lit. Et la lit, transforme un jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune et la lit. Lève jeune et la lit, transforme un jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune et la lit. Les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune et la lit, transforme un jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune et la lit. Et la lit, transforme un jeune. Je lis, je lève, je sens, je lève, je lève, je lève, je lis. Transformation, jeune. Jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent. Lève jeune, lève jeune, lève jeune, lève jeune, lève jeune, lève jeune. Elle, jeune, lève jeune, lit. Li la li, 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 li li. La li, 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 la li, li, li la li, li li, lève la li, li lève jeune, la li, li lève jeune, elle lit. Jeune et la lit, transforme, jeune et la lit, jeune et la lit, transforme, jeune femme, jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune et la lit, transforme, jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune et la lit, transforme, jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune et la lit, jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune, s'enlève, les gens, lila, jeune, s'enlève, lit, femme, jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune et la lit, transforme, jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune et la lit, transforme, jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune, les yeux s'enlèvent, jeune, s'enlève, les gens, lila, jeune, s'enlève, lit.
Wow.
Amazing.
And these pieces introduced me to people that were interested in similar advocacy, and it came together so organically that we're really looking forward to working with the Institute for Disabilities at Temple and many colleagues in Boston and Portland, and there will be more soon. So we have only a short time together, so let's, I think, move on to the film. But consider donating your voice if this is something that moves you.
My favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate.
My favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate. My favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate.
Case closed.
Some of our campers do not have the language yet to put into complete sentences what it is they need. And they're trusting us to care for them. They are some of the bravest kids in the world.
I like my device. It gives me a voice for what I want to say. But I'd rather talk with my natural voice.
Our campers all use speech-generating devices as their voices.
Nickel. 5 cents. My talker is my voice.
Some of them sign, some of them point and gesture and use their bodies. They've figured out all kinds of different ways to talk and to have relationships with people.
Do you want to sit by me at dinner? My name is Katie. My name is Katie. I am 12 years old. This is my 4th year of camp. At camp, I feel happy and safe.
Good morning, Katie. Good morning.
Because I have friends that take care of me.
D. E. V.
We want them to know that their voices are heard.
You gotta say it.
Can you volume a little bit, Bud?
Toothpaste? Toothpaste was in the Oreos? Oh!
My name is Leo and I am 9. At camp I feel happy because I'm not with my family. I'm independent. People at camp call me the troublemaker.
Our kids have that right to be able to live and work and love in their community regardless of how they communicate or how they move their bodies. Our kids' voices should be no less powerful than anybody else's.
This is my voice. I'm a normal man.
I am smart and funny and sweet and fast at running.
Everybody is different. Every people is great.
This camp has allowed me to stay in the world of kids like Alec. It's given me a purpose again, if not for my own son, then for other children. I believe the work we do here is life-changing. Because they know that if you take the time, their voice will be heard.
Wonderful.
Katherine, you are brilliant, and your performance and what you've shared is life-changing, thought-provoking. I'm sure we have a lot of questions for you, but I think in the space of time, we're going to need to move on. But please do look at the chat, and everybody check out Katherine's work. I mean, she's multi-talented, virtuosic, visionary in education and in presenting, and obviously here in this wonderful, very moving initiative. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrea.
Katherine Skovira. Let's give her another warm welcome of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're amazing. Yeah, you have some questions there, so so see if you can check out the chat box. Our next performers are also equally as fascinating. Composer Melissa Dunphy and electronic musician Matt Dunphy are co-hosts of the podcast The Boghouse, which tells the wild story of acquiring a magic theater from a pedophile and discovering archaeological treasure below, and unexpected Philadelphia history below their house. They hope to one day reopen the theater as a multidisciplinary performing arts venue called the Hannah Callowhill Stage. I can tell you, as one that has always had an interest in archaeology, that I was privy to firsthand experience of their dig when I went to help them clean sherds that they found under their home. You can learn more about this amazing project at the performers table. Let's give it up for Melissa and Matt Dunphy.
Hi! Hello. You can all hear us okay? We're all good? I'm Melissa Dunphy.
And I'm Matt Dunphy.
Obviously, process of elimination. So yes, as Andrea was saying, 5 years ago, we bought a rundown magic theater here in Philadelphia after a scandal.
Yeah, and in the process of renovating it to run it into a new performing arts space and building the apartment that we're actually in right now.
We accidentally discovered 2 privies, that was the pun Andrea was making, 2 privies full of treasure from the Revolutionary War era.
And then we recorded a whole podcast about it because it's a crazy story.
Yeah.
We're going to do our first ever mini live version of the podcast for you now.
So, everyone take a seat. You're in the Boghouse. We have a whole house now, a whole apartment that is stuffed full of literally thousands of artifacts. Back in the 1700s, they dug these privies, which are toilets, and they threw their trash in the pits because, of course, they didn't have trash pickup or plumbing.
Yeah, so as we started to find this stuff, we didn't really know what we were getting into. We just thought it was cool because it was old, and we put it together, we took photos of it, and when we sent it out there, it turns out it was also important.
Yeah, and so now we divide our lives between our regular jobs and our amateur archaeology work, which involves a lot of digging, a lot of cleaning of sherds. When a pot is broken up into pieces, the pieces are called pot sherds, or sherds for short, and then putting them together, and then liaising with actual real professional archaeologists. I go to archaeology conferences now, as well as music conferences, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's actually been really great for the lockdown because you see a lot of people on social media putting puzzles together.
Right.
But they're usually just 2D puzzles of printouts. We kind of take it to the next level.
Yeah, and I'm always like no offense to people who do puzzles, but like I don't get puzzles because they're like somebody made a puzzle for it to be broken apart and put together. This seems so much cooler to me because we're actually taking broken pieces of pots and pans and plates and
wine bottles, and we're acting sort of as a force against entropy, right?
That's right.
Bringing things back, and what I found really fantastic is seeing these things that people were using day to day 250 plus years ago. We're able to really get down to exactly when this stuff was found and bringing it back to light, not just for display in our own house, but we plan on sharing this publicly. But I've also made coffee mugs with designs that people bought 250 years ago that are unique to Philadelphia.
So you probably want to see some of them. We set some of them up behind us here. This is a wine bottle from 250 years ago-ish, about the 1770s, 1780s, I would say.
Yeah, and we have a number of these that are complete. Most of the ones that we found are broken, though. Don't let the Quakers tell you they don't drink.
They drank so much, so much. This is probably one of our favorite pieces right here. This is called a pipkin, and it looks kind of like a mug with three, I hope you can see this. Let's put this somewhere. There we go. 3 little feet on the bottom. That is so you can balance this on the coal in the hearth. Back in the day, they obviously didn't have microwaves. So this is like the 18th century version of a microwave, and I love it. I'm never letting go of this piece. I don't care how much the antique dealers tell me it's worth.
So this back here, you probably can't see with the resolution of the camera, but this was broken into about a dozen pieces. But using a special glue that comes apart in heat so that if we need to take it apart, we can. We've assembled one of many slipware plates. These are made in Philadelphia by what were then German immigrants. And they were really actually subverting British commerce by doing this. It's a whole funny story.
Yeah, so back in the day, of course, the British colonies that the American Revolution was fought against, the British government demanded that colonials weren't allowed to manufacture their own goods, to force them to buy goods from Britain, right? But anybody who's lived in Pennsylvania and dug a garden knows that our soil is full of this beautiful red clay that is perfect for making all kinds of utilitarian items. So you can't really tell a bunch of potters living in Philadelphia in the 1700s to just not make anything. They're gonna make stuff, and make stuff they did, and eventually that stuff ended up in this trash pit underneath. And just to give you a little taste, oh, actually, before we do that, this is one of my favorites.
Another thing you find a lot of when you unearth these privies, these trash pits, these outhouse holes, are chamber pots. Literally 3 years into doing this before I put together that the word potty came from actual pots.
So yes, they would actually do their business in this surprisingly beautiful pot in the night and then tip it into the privy in the morning. And I guess when they moved house and they didn't want to take it with them, they just threw the whole pot in as well. And now we display it in our house like it's a piece of treasure, which it kind of is. I was
do
the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many people have asked me, this is such a bifurcated life, living as a composer and living as an amateur archaeologist. They are both 40-hour jobs or hobbies or what have you.
At least.
Luckily, I have had the opportunity, or the opportunity has arrived. Oberlin Conservatory is commissioning me to write an opera, and I am writing an opera about archaeology, specifically about a real woman who died on our property in 1880.
That's right. We're at Front and Callowhill Streets, the very beginning of Northern Liberties, which started out really posh, and then by the mid to late 1800s was really terrible.
It's like the worst part of Philadelphia. I mean, just you know.
It was the Tenderloin district. Cops were getting murdered on this corner.
Brothels and bars, like the worst bars you can imagine. So yeah, I'm writing an opera about archaeologists learning her story through material culture and bringing it all together here at the Boghouse. So if you're interested in learning more,
you've got links on the program that was sent out. And just to give you an idea before we cut off, just to be respectful of time, here's a glimpse of our collection so far. Melissa's going to turn the camera around.
Okay, sorry for people who get seasick very easily, but I'm just going to give you, see this shelf? This whole shelf is full of, you can see Tupperware containers here and pots, and that is probably about a third of our collection. We have so much. It's the theater is going to actually end up being a theater performing arts space / museum, as it turns out. So we can add museum curator to our list of things that we do.
That's right. As one of our archaeologist friends said, she was watching so much TV during the pandemic, she realized anybody can call themselves an archaeologist or a curator. And a friend of ours was like, try that, welcome to being an artist, right? So,
thank you so much, Andrea, for having us, and for everyone for listening to us ramble on here. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and if you want to head to our website, you can listen to the podcast. And we also have, again, Made in Philadelphia in 1772, available for the first time in 250 years.
You guys are awesome. Let's give it up for Melissa and Matt. Thank you so much. We should, everybody should check out their podcast, the Boghouse, go to their website and get in touch with them if you're interested in cleaning shirts, because you never know what you're going to find under their house. Thank you so much. We're going to bring on Treya Lamb, who's a classically trained songwriter, composer, and multi-instrumentalist whose cinematic songs and compositions are built on dynamic piano, ethereal vocals, meditative guitar, and lush chamber folk arrangements. Treya is a part of Joe's Pub Working Group, Eco Theater Company Superhero Clubhouse, and a member of the Resistance Revival Chorus, performing at venues such as Mass Mocha, the Prospect Park Bandshell, American Museum of Natural History, and the New York Public Library. Tonight, Treya will perform songs that reflect on grief, migration, and our relationship to the earth. Learn more about Treya's work on the performer's table and hear from New York. Let's give some love to Treya Lamb.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. This is my second time performing at one of Andrea's events. The first time was in person, and now we can try this whole virtual thing. Thank you so much for having me. This is a new song that I wrote just a few weeks before things shut down. I was out in Arizona for an artist residency working on my second album, which is kind of a reflection on grief and loss and my experience moving through my own personal losses. And usually my songs are more of an observation of other people's feelings, but this is an experiment to try to be like personal and a little bit more vulnerable, which is a scary thing to do. So this is probably one of the most personal songs I've written before. It's called Canyon, and I hope you like it. young and innocent, running under that summer sun. I might be 8 or 9 years old, and time is all that I've got in this world. Driving through Arizona, it was the only time that we had been captured in a photograph that you insisted I hold still for a moment, and it was over as quick as it went. I'm 28, I'm wiser, I'm older. I'm told that it's golden, but you live and you learn that nothing is permanent, and the sunset was perfect the day that you left. And my greatest regret is I wasn't there more often. Oh, it was just like you'd say the moment you left, all alone in that hospital. Oh, I thought we'd have more time, and my heart became a canyon. Oh, it split into two. Oh, my heart turned into granite on the day that I lost you. I'm 32, and I've had time to heal, but even still, some wounds never do. And I found solid ground, though I know that everything is temporary. So here I am at the edge. The present and past are in my steps, and I wonder if I leapt, would you catch me? Would you lift me up to where you are? Oh, my heart became a canyon. Oh, it split into two. Oh, my heart turned into granite on the day I lost
Thank you.
Beautiful.
So,
I hope that was cathartic to anyone who's going through grief right now. I know that we're all experiencing it together, which is a strange way to connect. And this next song, I think, kind of came from like having moved through the deepest parts of grief and having a heightened sense of empathy for those. I mean, if you lose someone, you realize that everyone loses someone and that we're all connected. And I think it's really empowered a deeper sense of wanting to just reach out and connect with everyone. So this is a song I wrote called Keep the Flowers Growing. I will keep the fire burning till you come home. I will keep the fires burning till you come home. I know the cold wind's been blowing, but no signs of slowing. And I will keep the fires burning till you come home. Oh, I will keep the rivers rolling till you come home. Oh, I will keep the rivers rolling till you come home. I know your tears have been flowing, but just keep on going. So I will keep the river rolling till you get home. Stand up for your rights like they're my own. Oh, I will stand up for your rights like they're my own. I know her system is broken, but I'll keep on hoping. And I will stand up for your rights like they're my own. And I will keep the flowers growing till you come home. Oh, I will keep the flowers growing till you come home. I know the wars have been raging, so I'll keep on praying. And I will keep the flowers growing till you come home. Oh, I will keep the flowers growing till you come home. Oh, I will keep the flowers growing till you come home.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible. Thank you.
Treya, they love you. I mean, people are just marveling over your soul and your honesty and the flexibility and colors of your voice and just how much you give with your songs. I think in the interest of time, and I wish we had time for lots of questions, but we will need to move on. But everybody, please stay in touch with Treya. All of the information is at the performers table about their donations and recordings. And Treya is also on social media. So please do follow Treya Lam. Again, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
We love you.
Love you too. Stay safe.
Our next performers are soprano Jessica Beebe and pianist Mark Lifshitz. Jessica resides with her husband Mark in Lansdale, PA, where they are expecting their first child in June. Both Mark and Jessica frequent the music scene in Philadelphia. Jessica sings in the Grammy Award-winning choir, The Crossing, is a soloist with Opera Philadelphia, and sings both early and contemporary chamber music. Mark is a frequent guest with the Philadelphia Orchestra, performing with many of their members, and frequently performs internationally with the Deutsche Grammophon artist Ye Un Choi. Jessica and Mark feel so fortunate to be able to perform together, especially during a time when public performances are not occurring. Tonight, they'll perform art songs by Rachmaninoff, Ravel, and Alvin from their home in Lansdale, PA. Links to learn more about their work on the performers table. Let's give a special welcome to Jessica and Mark and the little one on the way.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us, and thanks again to Andrea for inviting us to do this and for having us here. This is, I guess, technically our third time at your salon, first ZALON, but third time we've been able to perform on your platform. So thank you so much for including us. It really does mean a lot to us to be involved. So thank you. So we're gonna perform 3 short art songs for you. And I don't want to talk too much because I want to keep this moving. So I'm just gonna tell you a little bit, just a tiny bit about each song, the name of each song as we perform each song. So the first one, and also I just want to shout out, I don't know if you can tell, but we're barefoot in true salon fashion. Yep. I hope Andrea can appreciate that.
Yep, took shoes off upstairs.
So the first one we're going to start with is by Rachmaninoff, and it's called Dreams, composed in 1922. It's in a set, Opus 38, number 5. It's basically about the enchantment of dreams, and how dreams are shining lights as they travel through the sky and through the air, and even in the darkest of times, they still bring hope.
Sognez-vous
our second song, which is by Ravel. Is called Soupir. It is the first in a set of 3 poems by Stéphane Mallarmé, written in about 1913, 1914. The translation means to sigh, and basically it's a poem about dreaming of autumn and the autumn skies and the melancholy gardens and the sighs of a better tomorrow. Quick sip of water. Last but not least is Skogen Sover by Swedish composer Hugo Offin. Skogen Sover translates to The Forest Sleeps. This was written in 1908. It's just a beautiful song about the love of nature and the forest, and how the summer really brings all those beautiful elements of nature to life in the summertime.
I
Ravi. I think we want to just keep things moving along, but there are a lot of people. We do have one question for you. People are commenting, first of all, how beautiful your voice is, how gorgeous the accompaniment is, and how lucky the baby is to be able to have the stereophonic sound and the best seat in the house, literally. But so a question is, how does being 8 months pregnant affect your diaphragmatic support? You sound great.
That's a great question. Well, first of all, I just started to be 9 months pregnant, so I'm now in the final month. I have 3.5 weeks left. And it's really hard. Everything is pushed up, so my lungs are higher, my diaphragm is higher, and when I inhale, I can't push down, I can't expand. And as I've gotten deeper into pregnancy, it's been harder and harder to breathe well. And I don't know, hopefully you could not tell, but I was struggling a lot through a lot of those phrases. And normally I can have a really good breath span, but I definitely, I can't really right now. So it's fun singing with him in there because he's kicking. It's a boy, by the way. He's kicking. And so it's nice to have that feeling, but it's really hard to breathe fully to my full potential. But yeah, that's a good question. That is a good question.
Thank you. Thank you. I really, we couldn't tell. You sounded amazing. And
Thank you.
We were trying to make sure that I could fit Jessica on early enough that she could perform. So thank you for doing this for us. So appreciative. It added so much exquisite beauty to our night. And we wish you all the best with the birth and your music going forward. So everybody, please check out the performers table where you can learn more about Jessica Beebe and Mark Lipschitz. And thank you again for being with us. We are going to turn things over to a collaboration between Daniel Neer and Kit Young from their homes in Washington, D.C. Daniel Neer is a singer, actor, librettist, and lyricist. His performance credits range from Broadway, Carnegie Hall, Lincoln Center, and the Kennedy Center to National Sawdust and the Guggenheim Museum. He's thrilled to be exploring opera improvisation with Kit Young and the boundless poetry of Emily Dickinson. Kit Young, pianist and improviser, has been performing collaborations since 1992 with musicians and theater artists in Thailand, China, and Myanmar, where she co-founded the Gitameet, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Gitameet Music Institute. Together, they will perform Shelter In with Miss Dickinson's hymns from their homes in Washington, D.C. Let's welcome Daniel Neer and Kit Young.
Thank you.
Andrea, thank you so much. This is such a great opportunity, and thank you to everyone listening tonight. It's phenomenal to be able to work with Daniel. We started working on a libretto that I fashioned after looking at poetry of Emily Dickinson, who was a pianist and improviser, and noticing a long time ago that they were like hymns, and they are hymns. So for tonight, we thought of giving you some poetry that has to do more with solitude, with solace, with silence, and sheltering in.
is all we dread. There's ransom in our voice, but silence is infinity. Himself hath not a voice. Is as far as to the very nearest room. If in that room a friend awaits, felicity. Doom. This is the place. This is the place. This is the place. This is the place. This is the place they hoped before. This is the place they hoped before. Where I am hoping now. Where I am hoping. Where I am hope. Where I am hoping now. The seed of disappointment grew within a capsule, within a capsule, within a capsule. Too distant to arrest the feet that walk this plank of balm. Before them lies escapeless sea. The way is closed, they came. Our own possessions, though our own, is well to hoard anew. Remembering thy dimensions of possibility. There is a solitude of space. A solitude of sea. A solitude of death. But these society shall be compared with that profounder sight, that polar privacy. A soul admitted to itself.
Bravo. Bravo, bravo.
Avi. Oh, that was remarkable, and a lot of people want to know, and I want to know, how does this work? Performing, improvising together remotely. We don't hear a lag time. It sounds like you're in sync. We see that you're performing and improvising right on the spot, right into Zoom without any added technology. Can you talk a little bit about how you're making this work?
I'm going to let Daniel answer that one.
Well, Kit's one of those people that our antennas just sort of meet each other and talk to each other. It's very easy given the energy that we hear from each other. A lot of times I'm inspired by what she's playing and we'll decide to riff on it. And sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes we wait for each other, and that's part of the improv too. We're really, this project is inspired, as Kit explained, and the thing that I'm fascinated the most about it is to try to reinterpret Emily's poetry through a sound world that she would have heard, both sounds coming into her room and also the solitude of her thoughts. And we've been working on this for about a year now, but it has special poignancy now that we're all very much in our room all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think you conveyed that absolutely beautifully. We were really with you, hanging on to every word. And speaking of the words, will we be able to get a copy of the poem, or is it possible to paste it into the chat?
I think it's in the chat. I think it's on the table or in the chat.
It's on the performers table. Yeah. Okay. So everybody, if you could please, again, check out the performers table to see, learn more about Daniel Neer and Kit Young, and to read the poem that inspired that extraordinary improvisation. That would be just wonderful. Again, thank you, Daniel Neer, Kit Young.
Thank you.
Oh, here it is. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken Ulancy. He's just copied it for us. Beautiful. So certainly, last but not least, we're going to conclude our ZALON program with the fabulous duo Hudost, Moksha Summer and Jamal Wade Hines, Hoodos performs original neo-folk world rock from their in Woodbury, Kentucky, and they tour all around. They were planning to perform live for you this evening, and they had some unexpected technical issues. So they're going to be sharing a live performance of their piece, Rise Together, which just won an Independent Music Award, followed by another one of their originals, Red-Haired Son. These are previously recorded, but they'll come on and talk to us a little bit afterwards. Find their merchandise and ways to describe and donate to Hoodos on the performers table. I heard them years ago at a Rumi festival and was very much taken with their music. They've mesmerized audiences at my salon for years, and I'm thrilled to welcome back Moksha Summer and Jamal Wade Hines of Hoodos. And have your glasses ready. We'll have a virtual toast after this.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you.
I think he's playing the next one next.
I had a dream. I shed the last tear in the world. Everyone's looking at me. I had the thought, everybody moves to the same light, and we will find our way. No, nothing's meaningless. The dream is my own evenness, and every step will push us to the place. Set foot in the river, float out to the ocean, fall down to the bottom, and we will all rise. Step off of the mountain, fall down to the valley, bury your body, all rise together. How could we know our hands would become weapons of war? And what about peace? I saw the rain and the colors that bled from the clouds and the sun in the daylight. Nothing was left out and no one was feeling alone. We find our recklessness, the dream is our own evidence, and every step will push us to the place. Set foot in the river, float out to the ocean, fall down to the bottom, and we will all rise. Step off of the mountain, fall down to the valley, bury your body, all rise together. We'll all rise together. We'll all rise up again. Rise up again. Oh, won't you rise up again? Rise up Set foot in the river, float out to the ocean, fall down to the bottom, and we will all rise. Step off of the mountain, fall down to the valley, bury your body, all rise together. We'll all rise together. We'll all rise together. And we will all rise together. We will all rise together. We will all rise together. And we will all rise together. We will all rise together. We'll all. I had a dream.
There they are. Folks the Summer and Jamal Wadeline. Everybody say hi and
Wow.
Hi. Thank you.
that was amazing. It's just the perfect spirit to conclude this evening. Yes, we will all rise together. We're all in this together, and for you to give us that message and that prayer. Let's see, do we have any any questions? People are writing about how wonderful it is to see you again. It's been a few years since you've come through Philadelphia.
We really want to come back in person.
We want to see all of you and hug everyone and, you know, breathe shared healthy air.
So may it be. So what are you working on now? What's your current project?
That's a great question, actually. We've been working hard through this time. For the last couple of years, we've been working on an interdisciplinary piece with a dance company called the New Dialect Dance Company and the visual artist Jana Harper. And we were supposed to, at the end of this month, we were supposed to be doing performances for this piece, and everything changed. And so Oz Arts through Nashville is who's hosting it, but we're actually doing a virtual release, and we have shot and done video of all the dancers in isolation through this time. And we've been doing, instead of performing the score, we've been recording the whole score. And so on the 29th through Oz Arts, the whole thing is going to be released. And
May 29th.
We're very excited about it. And if anybody wants to be there for that premiere, they can sign up through Oz Arts Nashville. So yeah, that's been an exciting thing to be involved with. And it's been interesting seeing how the gears shift in terms of what we all do in this time and how we change the formats of things.
Right.
So.
Well, thank you so much. It's just such a pleasure to have you back. And yes, we will hug again. We do remember how to hug. There's so many hugs waiting, millions and trillions of hugs waiting to be had. And thank you everyone for joining us tonight as we all rise together, as we celebrate art's truth, humanity, and what is possible. I know that I wept so many times tonight just from sheer emotion from what these performers have given us from their souls. So please do make sure to check out the performers table, which will remain up for a week. Many of the performers have links to their Venmo and PayPal accounts where you can support them. Remember that there are no live performances now, so this is a way that you can really help keep the arts alive. Please know that there will also be a one-time public live stream of tonight's performance that you may advertise widely. That will be on May 24th, next Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. That's so people in Europe can watch. And it will be on the same page as the performers table. So feel free to tell all your friends to come and watch this one-time live rebroadcast. Performers, I am incredibly grateful for your artistic offerings this evening that were filled with beauty, soul, sensitivity, honesty, depth, and artistic exploration. Engineers, thank you for volunteering your time. Our wonderful team of engineers, Adam Vidixis, Marina Ballesteros, and Andrew Litz. And let's show our appreciation to everyone by giving one more round of applause to all the performers and the engineers.
Thank you.
And so let's all lift our glasses for a virtual ZALON toast to health, to art, to community. Cheers.
Cheers.
You can unmute so we can talk a little bit.
Nastrovia.
Nastrovia, yes. L'chaim, which actually is plural. You know, l'chaim, it means to lives, to all of our lives.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. Two lives. Is the 29th performance on your website? The last couple that performed.
That's, yes, Hudost. Are you guys
on your website?
It's on our website and it's on our Facebook page. There's like promo videos and stuff. We're going to be promoting it a lot. So, but it's on the front page of both our Facebook and our website.
So, I mean, I saved it. I have it here.
Oh, yes.
I hope to download a couple of your songs from iTunes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Wonderful to hear you guys again. That's Ken.
Is that Ken?
Yep.
I can't see you, but I can hear you. You can get a group.
I've got the mountains.
Didn't you guys used to play together, right? Or you played
a little bit. I sat in on a couple of songs.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey.
Looks warm in the desert.
Hey, Marina Ballesteros, can you say hello? This is one of our tech engineers, so we can see you. They're working so hard behind the scenes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for.
Our computer totally crashed tonight.
Thank you.
And is Andrew Litz here? He's been helping out too. They're both students at Temple University.
Oh,
there you are. Thank you. Andrew is also a composer.
Thank you.
We so appreciate your help, and of course, Adam.
Woo, Adam.
Woo. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where's your daughter tonight?
She was just here for the toast. You might have heard her choosing.
Oh, yes.
And then she ran off again. She's working on art projects, so she's in and out. But she's been listening to the music.
Yeah.
Here's our son, Caleb, by the way.
I saw him running in and out a couple of times.
Hi.
Yeah.
I remember you. I saw you when you were very little.
Yep.
Nice to see you again.
It's really easy after that point. You just add water, sprinkle every week.
I made this Lego.
He's been doing Legos the whole time, can we say?
We saw Hudos at Jamie's House of Music. Jamie's place.
Yeah, I did too.
Years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was wonderful.
Please come back to Philadelphia. We'd love to
Yes.
see you.
Would love to have you back.
Yeah.
My fiance would love your music too. She likes, we're both rockers. Been playing this electric guitar for 36 years.
Cool.
Moksha, you are a walking miracle.
Aw.
That's Elliot.
It's Elliot.
How are you, Elliot?
you. Everybody here right now is actually. Let's give a whoop whoop. Here's another cheers to health for everyone.
And to walking
here.
miracles.
And to walking
Yes.
miracles.
Yes. Whoa. Cheers.
There she is,
She's
Olivia.
back.
Say hi to everybody, Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
Olivia.
Olivia was dancing to the tango music last time and everything. She's very involved. Nice to see you.
Maybe one day you'll perform.
Yeah, we
She's
hope
working
so.
on her piano and drum skills and singing.
Yeah.
Olivia, how old are you?
How old are you?
5.5.
Whoa.
I eat 5.5-year-olds.
I'm 6.
I eat you up because I'm a nanny. I'm a babysitter, Adam. So if you ever need a
cool.
babysitter.
I become 6 on July 15th.
His is in July 21st.
Oh, look. Do you see Caleb? Caleb is he's 6 now. There he is.
My birthday is on July 21st.
July babies.
Autumn now. I'm here.
And I think my best friends from school is July,
No, when it went.
I think July like 4th or 2nd.
So many July birthdays.
Cuties.
Yeah. Who's still on?
I'm on.
Turn on my gallery view. Oh, there's still a lot of you out there. You can unmute yourselves. We can catch
What a
up.
great show. What a great show. Thank you so much.
More than 70.
Incredible.
Melissa and Matt, it was so great to see your collection again. It was super exciting for me to be there and to, just to be cleaning these sherds because, I knew that they, a lot of them would actually form something. You know? And as a composer, that's what we do. We sort of start from nothing and we hope that it's going to build into something. So,
Right?
so
Yeah. It's like the same as composing, except it's like concrete, there's something that's really cool.
Wow. Love that one.
Objects.
Yeah.
This is actually a punch bowl that you're supposed to toast with. So
Wow.
one more and that is kind of like one more for the road or, one more drink before I leave kind of
Because you
thing.
would drink out of these and pass them around to celebrate. And
Yeah. Don't do that right now because there's a pandemic going on and you don't want to share your punch bowl with everyone else at the bar. But, I guess in the 1700s.
So, Melissa, how are you going to translate this into an opera?
Wow, that's a really big question.
It's a really cool idea, though.
So we're telling the story of this woman who died on our property from the perspective of 4 different archaeologists who are excavating the property, 4 grad students essentially, and each of the 4 have really different personalities and really different specialties. So they all imagine the life of this woman in completely different ways based on who they are. So it's actually an opera about how when you hear a story being told, it actually says just as much about the storyteller as it does about the story or the subject of the story.
It's a Rashomon kind of thing.
Yes, totally. Yeah, we're completely influenced by Rashomon, but also about things like we're retelling the story of America right now with things like the 1619 Project and, thinking about how women contributed and people of color contributed to America. And it's a different story, right? I think that's like a really important current issue.
And that's something that you really get out of archaeology in a way that you don't get out of written history.
Yeah.
Because as a certain attorney general recently stated,
she'll go nameless.
Yeah.
But the materials left behind tell a story that often those folks don't get to tell themselves.
Right. Like stories of poor people, stories of enslaved people, stories of women who are using, these objects to cook with, and sometimes the stories of potters who remain unnamed, but you can actually see their fingerprints imprinted in the clay on the outside of the pots that they built. I just think that's so cool.
That's super cool.
You would know all about that. You've looked at archaeology that's 10 times older than this.
I was on a dig in Israel, and stuff was just falling out of the rocks from 3000 BC. It was extraordinary.
Crazy.
I couldn't wait to get over to their house and dig around and see what they had. It's quite fascinating. Are you still taking volunteers?
Oh yeah. Well, not right now because
not right now. Of course.
Yeah, since the pandemic's around, we've had to socially distance. But I guess the bright side of that for us is it's been occupying. Whenever we've got downtime, we're just washing and assembling, and
it's really calming, right? Like you felt that when you washed the shoulds as well.
Yeah, it's like a meditation.
Yeah, right. It's like cleaning things can feel so cleansing to the soul as well. So it's like anxiety, politics is terrible, there's a pandemic going on. Let me just wash.
That's how I feel about doing my dishes, How many dishes? Do we still have Treya on the line?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Hi. We didn't have a chance to ask you questions, so would you mind just coming on for a minute and talking a little bit about the inspiration for the songs that you sang tonight?
Sure, yeah. So I have been writing, it's a goal of mine to do a album for every classical element. So my first album that I wrote was inspired by the element of air, and I'm currently working on the second one, which is inspired by the element of earth. And I guess kind of some of the themes that I'm exploring with it are death and regeneration and maternity. So this process, the songwriting process, began a couple of years after my mother and my grandmother had passed away. So I went through a pretty long writer's block and was just doing a lot of internal work. Moving through grief for personal reasons, and also kind of grieving as an American and as like a person of color, a queer person of color in this country, and the shift in my relationship to a country that I grew up loving and having kind of a complicated relationship without really understanding why. So this a lot of the process has been kind of exploring my identity in a grand scheme, as well as like my personal story, I guess. But I was recently out in Arizona and really inspired by the landscape there. Just I started out in Sedona, and just spend some time healing with the earth and having a bit of stillness and reflecting on time and space.
It's good to do that in Arizona. I spent a lot of time at Arco Santi.
Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful.
I actually did their architecture program with what's his name, Paolo Solari.
That's amazing. I actually have. I'm at my desk now. This is like one of the books that I got while visiting Arco Santi, which is so cool that you mentioned it. Yeah.
We used to dance there. Group Motion did. Andrea founded Group Motion, and we would have to retreats there. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Treya, the picture above your calendar. Who is that?
Oh yeah, so that's my mother. And let's see. Yeah, so I'm currently staying. These are all photos of her. I'm currently staying with my father, who lives out in Long Island. Before things shut down, I was kind of living transiently, and so this was the house that she lived in before she passed, and these photos were here by the desk that I use. And yeah, so they're in a lot of the online concerts that I've been doing. She's been watching. She's been a huge reason that I became a musician. So it's nice to still have her around.
She's watching over you too.
Yeah.
Who did the mark making above the thermostat?
I did a concert in Kingston back in October, and after I played, some people came up to me and said, "Hey, there's a cave near here. Do you want to come and just like hang out?" And I was by myself, and it was a full moon, and I knew I wanted to do something, and we ended up at some cave. I tried to look for it the next day, but I couldn't find it. But there were like candles lit all throughout the cave, and I had started writing this earth project, and I like played some of the songs for the first time in this candlelit cave, and one of the people who was there gave me this. I don't remember his name, but I remember that night.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Treya. Katherine Skovira asks, do you know the Deepa Mehta Earth Trilogy films?
No. How do I spell that?
It's in the chat.
Okay. I haven't heard of it.
She's an amazing filmmaker, and so she's done a trilogy, and it caused quite a stir. So her work does not get featured in India now, but she's based in Canada.
Cool. I will definitely check that out. I've been to accompany the songs. I've been taking this this like camcorder that my dad filmed all of our family videos growing up, and I've just been documenting. A lot of my work is inspired by nature, so but I never really take too many pictures or bring people along. So I've been filming. I've got footage of like the redwoods and the Grand Canyon, and I love national parks and like the forest and things like that. So the hope is that when the music is finished, I'll have a visual film to kind of accompany it.
Oh, beautiful.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, Treya. And I think we'll sign off in a minute, but if Katherine, you'd like to come on for a moment and say something about your work and
oh my gosh,
inspired all the various...
I have a little 2-month-old that's with me, so I don't know
Can we see?
No.
I heard the disembodied voice. I was trying to see where your picture was.
He's joining me, so I can't reveal, but he's been a total joy, and so best wishes to Jessica and their little one coming. Yeah, no, thanks so much. This has been amazing.
Thank you.
Always, Andrea.
My friends in Singapore are just signing off. Annette and Tyler, thank you for being here with us tonight. And thank you all. This has just been an incredibly a soulful night that just spans so many human emotions. It's been incredibly fulfilling, at least for me, and I'm just grateful to everyone who came and all of the performers. So thank you. Be well.
Andrea.
The next Zalon is May 31st. So we'll see you live there, and the rebroadcast is next Sunday at 2 p.m. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye, Elliot. Bye, Kim.
Cheers. Be safe.
Bye, Andrea.